utility of the ultimate of the Nocturne to shine more so, as you were talking about, to enable the Nico in fights.
All right, we are in an elimination game for T1 at Worlds. They're putting Gumayusi on the controversial Kai'Sa pick for him. They have a lot of dive to set him up. Ornn ult with Nocturne, with the Nico. Lots of aggressive opportunities there.
All right, let's take a look here. On your screen, you can see the history of what we're talking about with Faker against the LPL. All of these best of fives, 11 of them as of the IG series this year in play-ins. Of those 11, 5 were 3-0s.
I think for Tarzan, he's just going for more of a defensive clear here, trying to clear out the camps that are at the front, knowing that T1 have that push on the bottom side and making sure that no sort of mate. But Guma!
Yeah, immediately Guma under some pressure as Kael and Hope trying to push back against the T1 duo who have been shoving them in so far in this lane. Let's see. Wants to move towards him there with the Ishtal's impact, forces the flash. Faker stays safe, but now Summoner Spell down.
But there's so many members on the top side of the map for T1, and they don't know Doran's here.
Yeah, Doran's still there, the call of the Forge God, the paranoia over the top. Hope tries to get away with the flash, but he's still caught up in the fear. He waits to use the cleanse. Hope locked up by the Ornn, but he gets enough distance. AL staying alive for now. Kael and Hope both get away. T1 goes in. Gumayusi with a killer instinct, but Hope still lives underneath the turret. Doran's going in with a bellows breath, and it's first blood over to Keria. Kael tries to counterattack with Zenith Blade, but he does not have what he needs. Doran now the target. Shanks doesn't hit him with a chain. He's got to try to get away as Tarzan wants to kill Doran. Shanks still in the back part of the fight. Tarzan with a 3-man impale. T1 still trying to fight as Faker arrives in. Shanks down to 150, and the blooming burst from Keria gets him. It's a 4-2 game, 8 minutes in, and T1 take the fight.
The first 3 for the feats, they get a bunch of extra gold, and they got the 2 grubs out of the 3-pack.
And now we're right back into it though. Keria in some danger. Shanks misses the chain. He just goes up. He gets bonked a little bit, but now Tarzan is looking to change that around. Nice use of the bellows breath, but he is pulled back by the claw from Flandra. He tries to get underneath the turret. Doran flashes away. Flandra does secure the kill, but now he's got to get away from the turret. His teammates coming up to guarantee he survives. Shanks still has a TP, but he's held in mid by Faker because of the wave clear of the Victor. Faker winning the trade against Shanks as Tarzan trades with Keria and Gumayusi. T1 with control over the Herald as AL approach. Flandra's going to look for a target, potentially here for the Death Realm. Herald down to 4K. Claw hits 2, but Flandra can't get any closer. Owner wants to take the objective. Paranoia's already gone out. Herald secured by Owner as the Ornhorn comes in, but only finds 1. Keria locks up Hope. Gumayusi into the back line, and the AL AD carries already down. Owner tries to flash away. Doran in the middle of everybody, but Flandra barely stays alive. He should surely die right after the shield falls, and Owner kills him. Kael's on the run. T1's on the hunt. Everybody on AL's dropping, and T1 are absolutely demolishing the LPL team. Tarzan tries to dig through the wall. He'll barely escape, but it's Rift Herald plus 4 kills to the side of T1.
Even Guma lived! Shanks tried to go back in to kill him, but he couldn't get the vision, he couldn't get the damage! T1 have taken control of this game!
Tarzan wants to see if he can get Faker on the way out. May get the damage down, but AL are so far away. Keria is still in the vicinity.
Still lived as well. It's just T1 dismantling AL on both sides of the team fight.
AL charged with a nearly impossible task. They are going to walk forward. They are going to see the Otacon started. They're bringing in the teleport. AL have to send some sort of a Hail Mary play here. Tarzan jumps in, only finds Doran. Keria looking for the Pop Blossom. He only finds it onto Kael. The Ornhorn flies through and Hope is already down. T1 have found their marks, and they want even more. Owner is smashed by Flandra in the Rift Herald pit here at the same time as Faker stays alive, and they cannot quite do it. Finally, they get the shutdown. AL's winning the fight. T1 may have overplayed. They may have overstayed. AL find their way back into the game. Flandra chasing after the lone survivor as the Otacon will be taken by anyone's legend.
The Otacon that they claim in the aftermath.
The Otacon is so dangerous. The shred that it applies to everybody on the team.
And they do have the Baron in their sights. They're trying to draw AL to them. This is going to be a turn from T1. Watch out for the engage.
Yep, keep your eyes on Keria specifically here with the Nico. Teleport coming in from the AL side. Also T1 ready to reinforce. Ornhorn sounds off. Doran goes in. They're going to knock up Kyle here at the very start, but into the back line. T1, Faker under pressure. The burst over the mid laner. They found him, but Hope is also already down. Shanks next to die. The Arcane Storm is a Typhoon, but AL is fighting back. More damage to Gumayushi. Flandra wants him. Flandra can't find him. The mace will not connect over the wall. And now Tarzan goes on a killing spree. AL are winning another fight. Doran locked up. He gets away with a teleport to stay alive. 3 for 3. A bloodbath at Baron. And it looks like they're going to grab it here. The Scryer's Trinket used to see what T1 is doing. Shanks goes after Keria, chunks him out, but doesn't chunk him super low. T1 takes the Drake, and now they're ready for the 5v5. Doran summons up the Ornhorn. They're going in after Flandra. They want to focus the Mordekaiser. They've got him locked up in the CC, and Faker strikes him down. AL have lost their strongest player. Tarzan whiffs the Impale, and Owner continues moving forward. AL in a 4v5 have got to be mindful now. T1 may try to go for the Baron as they clear out mid-wave. Flandra's still dead for 35 seconds.
T1 found the thorn on their side and they yanked it out immediately. Now anyone's legend have to defend the Baron. 4 versus 5.
T1 going after the big objective. Tarzan wants to step forward here, try to find a little bit of poke. Kyle and Hope now. A nice catch from Doran. Hope is already down. Tarzan has to retreat. Ishtal's impact through the wall. They can't slow him down. They can't lock him up. T1 back onto the Baron yet again. Owner down to 25% HP. AL, they're going to have their top laner back up here in 5 seconds. So it may have cost them Hope, but it buys them enough time to stop the Baron. AL ready to try to stop him, but Gumayushi kills this objective very quickly. TP coming in from AL. Keria on the flank, off to the right, ready for the pincer attack. T1 gonna pull off the Baron. They do not want to allow it to get low enough for Tarzan to try to steal. Doran jumps in, knocks Kyle up into the air. Shanks going in after Keria, wants to stop him. Ornhorn through the middle of the fight, and once again, Flandra's gonna get focused, but he is not dead. Big impale from Tarzan. A lot of damage comes through. Keria dies before the Pop Blossom. Flandra in a little bit of trouble now, but he's still fighting. The shield keeps him alive, but T1 is too strong. AL running now. They've lost 2. T1 have only lost their support. It's both supports down. Flandra, the extra man dead, means T1 win the fight.
Yeah, they melt the front line. Shanks is actually creeping around, but there's not much he can get. He's looking for an angle onto Guma.
If he can find Gumayushi, that's the angle. That's the only way to win it, and there he goes! Shanks with the hero play as Hope tries to escape from Doran, but the Bellows breath takes him down. Tarzan wants to get away from Owner, from Faker. He can't quite get there. He's feared up. Shanks nearly kills off Owner, but a beautiful spell shield keeps him alive. Shanks is trapped inside the gravity field, and Faker takes him down. Tarzan on the run. He's the only one left alive from the original fight. Kyle has finally respawned. Faker and Doran are going to continue the chase now. If they can get a delayed kill on this jungler, they can almost guarantee themselves either a soul or a Baron, and that's exactly what they're doing. Tarzan will not be allowed to dig through the wall. The Arcane Storm silences him as he tries.
Kyle has the smite, but there is nothing that he can do to get into the pit.
Exactly. It's free Baron for the side of T1. It's still 10 seconds before Tarzan is back on the rift. And look at Faker's position. He's already in the bottom side river, making sure that AL isn't trying to sneak the Drake early. Baron plus Soul plus 7,000 gold lead for T1 has to spell victory, and that's exactly what they're looking to do. The Mountain Soul belongs to T1 34 minutes in. They don't need a lot, they just need time to chip away at these tier 3s. Doran with a Bellows Breath to get through the claw. Flandra loses half his HP. The Mordekaiser's gonna be your target. Here goes the Ornhorn. They knock Flandra up into the air, but again, nobody under serious threat. Tarzan with an impale onto one, but he's about to die. He flashes away. Guma flashes in. Keria with a 3-man Pop Blossom will seal the fate of anyone's legend. Guma with a triple. Guma with a quadra. Only Flandra stands. Gumayushi finally dies, but AL will die with him. T1 will not go go quietly. They will force down the Nexus turrets. They will move to the Nexus, and they will take us to Silver Scrapes.
Leave it to T1 at Worlds to deliver us a Silver Scrapes. Analysts, are you ready?
Yes, we are so ready for Game 5. This series has been absolutely delivering, and may I say, perhaps through an unlikely hero.